Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Dallas Stars franchise mode here in NHL 20. So in last episode we had the first half of the off season, including the draft and the re-sign stage, and in the draft we actually managed to pick up a pretty good steal. I'll show you guys in a second just in case you did not catch the last episode. But we did pick up a nice high elite goalie prospect in DePenta. I'm really hoping this guy pans out, and if he does, then he's going to be definitely our starter over somebody like Nikolai Hebubulin. But yeah, that is a pretty good steal for, I think it was the 4th round we got him in. Or yeah, no, it was the 3rd round, okay. So yeah, he was a pretty good steal. But anyways, we are up here in the free agency portion of the offseason, looking to add maybe a few pieces to keep us kind of young, but at the same time competitive, because like I like to kind of transition over where the young guys come in and we still make the playoffs and we don't miss the playoffs really at all. So anyways, let's get into those free agent signings because we have a lot of them to make, including 2 right wingers, 1 left winger, 1 top 4 defenseman, or 1 top 2 potentially, 2 depth forwards, and 1 depth defenseman. So we do need quite a bit of stuff. So let's start off with the left winger, which is going to be Sergei Brilin, hopefully. As you can see, he only wants 2 years, but we're not going to give him probably 2 years. And he's 29 only, and he is a decent player. He just had a 50-point season, actually, in Buffalo. And how much ice time did he get? He got power play time. So if he's given the time, he might actually be a pretty good producer. So we're going to give him a 1-year deal. And we're going to give him 4.35 maybe. Let's actually give him 4.5 just to be nice. And besides Sergei Brilin, won like 3 Stanley Cups with the New Jersey Devils in real life, so might as well bring him in as that type of player. And then we're going to sign 2 right wingers, and the first one we're going to sign is Johan Garpenlov. Or not Johan Garpenlov, why did I just say Johan Garpenlov? Probably I just saw him here, right? Oh yeah, that's why I said that. Is going to be Martin Lapointe. So Martin Lapointe only wants 1 year at 1.7. He's only 28, and he's a grinder, which is something we don't really have a lot of. So as you can see, he's more of a physical player. Still puts up a decent amount of points, at least in Philadelphia he has. So we're going to give him a 1-year deal as well. And we're going to give him 2.250. He should be able to sign there. And then we need 1 more right winger, which is probably going to be like another 82 type of guys. So I think we are going to go for, yeah, Stephen Rice, I think. Yeah, we're going to give it to Stephen Rice. Even though Stephen Rice wasn't that good of a player in real life, we're going to give him a 1-year deal as well. And talk him to a 2.9 contract. So that should be the 3 players that we need for forwards. Then we need a top 2 defenseman. There's like a lot of guys we need. And top 2 are top 4. This guy's an RFA. And somebody already qualified, offered him, I think. Because maybe not. It looked like it. Somebody already qualified or offered him. But somebody's probably going to. Okay, so Zalewski we just let go of. Same with Godiniuk. They're not that bad of options. I might bring back one of the 2 of these guys, though. Because they're the best free agents available. Yeah, we're going to bring back Godiniuk as that one guy. Because he's younger. I just don't want to sign a guy that's going to drop off potentially. So 1 year at 4.7 for Godiniuk. Then we need 2 depth forwards and a depth defenseman. So let's get that depth defender first while we're here. Quite a bit of signings to make. I guess we could get somebody that's listed as a top 6. This guy's a top 6 that's a UFA. It's interesting. This guy actually did play a bit in the NHL for 3 seasons. Only 25. Do I want to sign him? Or, yeah, you know what? We're going to give this guy a chance. We're not giving him 3 years, though. I'll give him 1 year at 1.9. Just to see how he is as a depth guy. If one of our top 6 pairings, which is going to be Taves and Lindback, isn't that good, maybe I'll send him down to the minors, and this guy will replace them. And we need 1 more depth, or we need 2 more depth forwards. That's what we need. So probably a center and a winger. because that's usually what I go for. So you have at least one guy going good for face-offs and one for good for like the wing. Where is a good one? A lot of them are RFAs, which is kind of annoying. Lysak, no. There's a fourth liner, Ted Drury. Ted Drury might not be that bad. He's been more of an AHL player, and he's been playing good in the AHL, so we'll give him a 1-year deal. See if he wants to accept that. And then maybe he'll be like a bottom 6 kind of guy for us, potentially, if he makes the lineup. And then for wingers, let's look up right wingers. Is there any good depth ones? Svechkovsky's a right winger, but he's RFA. I think he was with the Blues as well when we were facing them in the playoffs. Let's just sort by overall, and then we can find those fourth liners probably faster. Jeff Odgers, and I don't really want an enforcer, to be honest. Anybody else? This Vorobiev guy might be okay. Vladimir Vorobiev. Yeah, he could be solid enough. We'll bring him in as well for a 1-year deal. And that should be good. Hopefully all those guys accept. And then once those guys accept, then hopefully, we get this rest of this offseason done fast, because that's already been like 6 minutes of just signing players. So let's start the sim to next season. Just see if we get those guys, and then we'll advance a month at a time to see the free agent signings for this offseason for all teams. So no, I'm not making a trade with you, Edmonton. Ted Drury has rejected because we gave him less. Okay, we'll give him more then maybe. But everybody else accepted, I think. Jeez, I'm not making a trade with you, Vancouver, especially giving up Drake. Drake had an insane year last year in the AHL partially, so let's go back to Ted Drury, get him back, even though he isn't that great of a player. Or we could get somebody else. Let's just sort by role. See if we can find a good depth forward. Chris Draper might be okay as well, but he would probably actually make the lineup, which I don't really want. You know what? Let's do it to Chris Draper instead. Chris Draper might be a solid one to bring in, because we did just bring in Martin Lapointe. We're kind of bringing in a lot of former Detroit Red Wings players. I just realized, and former Stanley Cup champions too, and Sergei Brylin as well. So trying to bring in those guys that would do good in terms of playoff simulation, but I don't know if they will actually in this. So let's just advance a few days, see if we get in Draper. And then we will sim this month and see what happens in terms of big free agent signings. Yep, Draper is accepted. So we got everybody that we wanted. Pretty successful free agency. Hopefully the team simulates well with all those veterans and youthful players. I still like to get some simulation done in this video, but let's see what happens for free agency first. Who signs where, and if there's any big trades or not. Just because this could be a pretty crazy offseason, who knows. And there's their first trade. Espluen and a first go to Florida for Jesse Belanger and Cal Johansson. Okay. In real life, Jesse Belanger was kind of a streaky player that played one good season in Florida and then never played good again. No, I'm not giving up a first for next year for Kasperitis. I already gave up my first for this season, and I want to be competitive, so hopefully we get to do pretty good. Okay, we are almost near the end of the month, and then we'll take a look at the signings for this month. See if there was any huge ones. There wasn't a lot of big name free agents this year. Like the biggest name was an RFA, so I don't know if there's going to be any huge signings, but we might as well look through them anyways, just so you guys can kind of get a bit more of a story to this franchise mode. That's why usually I show you. Okay, so trading wise, I'll just skim through that. So there's the trades. There was another one, Galanov to Chicago. Okay, so signing wise, any big names? I'm just going to scroll through this. Kirk Maltby in Ottawa. Any other big names? Or any interesting signings? PJ Axelson in Detroit. Jody Hull in New Jersey, okay. The bigger signings are probably going to be near the top. Paul Laus in Anaheim. Or Laws, I think it's pronounced actually, maybe. I don't know. Kevin Hatcher in Buffalo, it's a good signing for them. Considering they haven't won yet, I don't think. Or actually, maybe they won once. Yeah, they did. once a couple years ago. Don Sweeney signed back in Boston. We let him go in Boston. Ray signs him. That's kind of cool. Good to see him going to a team that he's going to retire with, that he used to play with. Anybody else of interesting note? Damn, there's so much signings. I'm not even going to read all these out because a lot of them are just players that I've never even heard of. Probably all UFAs or RFAs, or actually RFAs. Ted Drury signed in Pittsburgh, so that's where he goes. But he's probably going to be playing in their AHL affiliate, I would assume. So New York matches their offer sheet that Vancouver proposed. Anybody else interesting here? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, this is just like a lot of no-name guys, but if you guys see anything interesting that you want to bring up in the comments, you can. Kevin Stevens signs in Sweden. That's a pretty good signing for them, but he has dropped off a lot, so he's not as good as he used to be. Jyrki Lume signs in LA. Okay. Dominic Hasek signs in Chicago. Holy crap, that's cool. So Hasek left Buffalo, and now he signed in Chicago where he started his career. Dave Gagne signs in Boston, our former player. Tom Chorsky signs in New Jersey where he played in real life, so that's cool. I think he actually started the franchise mode in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken, too. Doesn't look like anything other than that, really. Tenorti, where did Tenorti sign? Philadelphia. Surprised he's still playing, to be honest, and that's all the signings so far. So not a huge amount of signings. There was a lot of signings, but just not a lot of big names, which I expect with this offseason. But let's go all the way up to the September the 1st, and then we'll take a look at the signings again. And then I will probably do a jump cut again to the lines for the start of the season, just because I wanted it to be quick. And then we'll start up the season simulation and maybe do 2 months or so. I don't know if we want to get a whole lot of simulation done. I know next episode is going to be pre-recorded, so I will get as much done as possible in that episode. Hopefully finish up next season in next episode, maybe even. Because we're trying to get through all 25 years not necessarily as quick as possible, because we have a lot of time still left in the year. So, okay, so Stefan Matteau and Oleg Petrov head to Czech Republic, and Germany acquire Markstrom at 2 firsts. So that's a pretty big blockbuster trade, I guess. Wasn't expecting Oleg Petrov to jump up to an 86, because I think I only gave him like top 9 potential. But I guess he's had some good simulating years, and that's helped him out. Okay, so a lot of trade offers, but none of them I'm accepting, just because that Sador trade is still risky. At least we made the playoffs last year, but the Sador trade, we want to be competitive this year. Hopefully Sador helps us to have a very good record, and we make it past the first round, because I don't want to give up a lottery pick this year. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the rest of the signings. Probably the rest of these are probably AHL guys and stuff like that, so they're probably not going to be any huge ones, but who knows. Let's check trades first. There was a couple trades. Malikov heads to Quebec, and a couple other lesser trades. Interesting. Okay, based on the free agent signings, let's see what there is quickly. And it's kind of annoying because my cat is falling asleep on my bed and he's staring at me while I'm commentating, which is really weird. It's got a lot of pressure on me. I have my own little audience, Nazarov in New York. Marty Turco signs in the Islanders, so I guess, where was he originally? I can't even remember what team he was on originally. I think it was Germany. They let him go and he signs with the Islanders. Hopefully he eventually goes to Dallas like us. Hopefully we sign him. But I don't know if he's going to be that good. Bill Ranford signs in Sweden. Okay. Chris Mason signs in Calgary. So a lot of those guys that were in the year 1 draft that I made seem to be switching teams. And there seems to be a lot of goalies signing right now, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, most of these guys are not that important. They're kind of AHL starters / backup goalies. and a lot of them are depth forwards and AHL guys, kind of like RFAs that are trying to hold out. So not a huge amount of big signings, it looks like. Mark Fitzpatrick in Philadelphia, another backup goalie, Kirk McLean in Toronto. That's kind of gross, at least for Canucks fans. Dan Kluge signs in Germany. Claude Lemieux signs in the Rangers. Okay. Brent Johnson signs in Winnipeg. Okay, so let's do a quick jump cut to our edited lines for the season, just because I don't want to advance too much more and make this like a really slow episode. So I will show you guys the lines, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so here is our forward core. So we got Sador, Wong, and Medano. Pretty good first line. Hopefully Sador starts producing like he did in Tampa Bay. Well, actually better than Tampa Bay, where he was only putting up like 60 points. Then we have Trent Klatt, 85 overall, Anton Lundell, and Donald Adet. So a pretty good second line behind that first line. Third line, Stephen Rice, Sergei Brylin, and David Borny. Brylin actually has good face-off stats. I forgot to mention that because he was also a center, so he's going to play center for us. And fourth line, we got Keith Drake, Ludwig Martinson, and Martin Lapointe. Now, I should probably give Drake some power play time. Yeah, I'm going to give him some power play time, I think, because his passing is really, really good. So I'm going to take off David Vaborny, even though Vaborny's pretty solid. And yeah, we're going to give him some power play time as well. And yeah, basically that's the power play unit. Anyways, onto the defensive core. We have Hatcher and Godiniak. I've decided to play Thompson instead of Jason Bowen because Thompson is younger. If for some reason the team's playing really bad defensively, I will swap in Jason Bowen over Thompson. But for right now, I wanted to play the younger guys. So we got Godiniak and Hatcher. LaChance and Lindback. Lindback's up to a 79, and he's also getting power play time this year, which is good because his offensive stats are pretty crazy. Like his passing's a 98, so he should be able to be a pretty good catalyst on that power play, I think. And then on the top six, we got Braden Taves, who's making the NHL, and Raphael Thompson. As for goaltending wise, we got Nabokov and Simic is going to be making the NHL, and then there's our depth players, so Bowen, Vorobiev, and Draper. Okay, so let's get into the simulation. I just want to check quickly the AHL, make sure there's nobody that's scratched. Okay, good. But yeah, AHL-wise, we have some good prospects. Wells is still really good. Street is good. There's a couple other dudes as well. But yeah, Intel is good. So yeah, we have some good prospects in the system. Not a lot of defensive ones. Well, actually, we do just have a couple now. Patrick Ward is making the AHL. Who was the other one? I think it might have been Mikas. Yep, Mikas is one. I don't know where the other one is. Probably back in WHL. But yeah, anyways, let's get started with the season simulation, just because we are running short on this episode already because there was a lot of signings we had to make this year, which normally isn't the case. Normally we only have to sign like one guy, but we let go of a lot of players during the offseason. So we'll see how this first month is, and if for some reason the defense is dropping the ball a bit, maybe I'll put in Bowen over Thompson, but for right now, I think giving the young guys a shot is better, but at the same time, I want to be competitive just because of the fact that we gave up our first to Tampa Bay this year. And that's a pretty good preseason game, 10-2 win over Detroit. So our offense is looking pretty good. But yeah, I'm really hoping Lindback could be a really good catalyst on that power play unit, because like with that passing, you think he'd be really good. He doesn't have the greatest offensive awareness, but his passing is really good. His shooting is really good. And last year in the AHL, he had like 60-something points, so I'm hoping for a big year from him. I didn't expect him to make the NHL, but he's going to be more of a 79, top 6 kind of defenseman, but we could play him always in the top 4. So preseason-wise, we go 5-0-1, so pretty good. Let's go right to November the 1st, see how we simulate. Hopefully we have no injuries to deal with this year. So our first game of the season against the Sens is a 3-2 overtime win, so it's pretty good. But then we lose to Czech Republic 3-1. Islanders, it's 5-3 win. Okay, so the offense is a bit streaky to start with those 3 games. Okay, now it's becoming a bit more consistent that we're scoring 3+ goals a game. But there's a 5-2 loss. Just we suck on Wednesdays, it seems like. And now we lost to Boston. Yeah, we are not doing necessarily the greatest. We just lost our third in a row. I might have to put Jason Bowen in over Thompson. But there's a win over Ottawa, so we're staying kind of consistent, like 500 hockey, which is good. And we did just beat Tampa Bay, who they have our first round pick for, so hopefully that's not a high up pick. And we do beat Philadelphia, and we beat Germany, so we're 7-4. Okay, so never mind. We kind of were a bit streaky to start this month, but I'll take it. Last 2 games of the month, though, we lose to Calgary, and we win against Vancouver, so 8-5 to start the season. Not too bad, and our offense has been pretty consistent, too. Let's see, who's leading us in points? It's currently Trevor Wong with 24 points in 13 games. Holy crap. We're scoring a lot of goals. At least our top line is. Which means Sador must be producing well. Actually, I shouldn't check this yet. I'll check it in a month just because it would slow down the episode if I check player stats now. But yeah, that top line looks like they're doing really well. So maybe Sador was actually the perfect option for that top line. So let's go another month. Considering we're above 500, I think we're doing pretty well. Let's go right to December the 1st. I'll like to go to January the 1st in this episode, I think. So one more month after this, and then we'll take a look at player stats and see how everybody's doing in terms of the NHL and AHL, just because we have a lot of good prospects in the system. I want to make sure they're developing in the right ways. And yeah, our offense is really doing well. Maybe it's the addition of Lynn back on the power play that's helping out all these guys, but yeah, we're scoring like 4 goals a game. Like if we could keep this up all year, watch out everybody. There's a 6-3 win over New Jersey, 1-0 loss to Quebec. Damn, Quebec must be good defensively to leave us to no goals. Game against the Mighty Ducks, 9-0 win. Yeah, this team is really good at scoring. Which is weird because we let go of a lot of our better forwards and then we put in younger guys. So maybe it was just because we re-signed Sador. Because Sador, Medano, and Wong seems to be like a good chemistry line. So maybe it's the chemistry of that line. And the power play unit actually had +3 chemistry boosts, I think, as well. So our power play is probably doing really well. Scott Lachance has been injured, so we'll just put in Jason Bowen. At least it's not one of the younger defensemen. There's a loss against Pittsburgh, a loss against the Jets. Yikes, without Lachance, we're dropping the ball a bit. And last game of the month against Finland is a 4-4 tie. Okay, so 15-10-1. We're second best in our division still. And our offense is still killing it. 37 points for Trevor Wong. Is his contract up this year? Because if his contract's up, no wonder he's playing like this. But yeah, we are currently one of the best in the league, which is good, like top 10. And yeah, Wong looks like he's just feeding everybody with passes. So let's go one more month, just because I want to get as much as possible done in the season. And then we'll take a look at player stats for both the NHL and AHL, and maybe even the standing stuff, just to see where we're being good at and where we're not. And maybe we will work on it again for next episode. So we're kind of dropping the ball a bit since that injury to Scott Lachance, it seems like. Yeah, there's another loss, and Lachance is back, which is good. Maybe Bowen was just not playing well. Jason Bowen, he's a -2. That's not that bad. And we'll put in Lachance, there you go. But we have been on a little bit of a downfall as of late. Hopefully having, oh man, and now Sergei Brillen's been injured. Hopefully we could still get some wins here. And not let's lose everything after that little bit of a hot start. There's a nice 6-1 win. So our offenses just came back from the dead pretty much. No! Are you kidding me? Mike Medano's been injured with a separated shoulder. It's not that long term. But that is not a good injury. Let's just go replace player, but damn. That is not a good injury at this point in time. And oh, Breland got put in Medano's spot. That's fine. We'll put him there for now, and then we'll move Breland back to his regular spot afterwards. Because Sergei Breland, he was kind of an interesting player because he was kind of streaky a bit. Like he had some really good seasons in real life, but then other seasons he was just really bad. So, by comparison at least. Okay. Come on, boys, get some dubs. Nice, beating Buffalo, beating the Rangers maybe. Nope, losing to the Rangers 8-4. So it seems like our goaltending is still struggling a bit, but then again, a lot of teams are scoring a lot of goals this year, I think. Game against Sweden, and then we got 4 more games still this month. 9-2 loss over Sweden, or against Sweden. And the team's not really that consistent in terms of scoring. And Rafael Thompson's been injured, so that's going to put in Bowen again. That's the top 6 defenseman guy that we signed. We lose to Russia 5-2. Game against Toronto, we lose 5-3. Yeah, we're kind of bouncing all over the place recently, which is kind of scary. There's a tie. And last game of the month against the Sharks is a 3-1 loss. So we're 19-18-3. We kind of have a lot of regulation losses, which I don't like. Hopefully that cleans up in the second half. I don't know if it's because of Medano's injury or what, but okay, let's take a look at quickly how are we in standings in terms of the league. In terms of the West, we're 1 point above, and we're not actually in a playoff spot at the moment because of the Pacific. Okay. So hopefully next episode, like when Medano comes back, we start winning games again. Or else I might have to make some trades or pickups or some shit, like give up a pick or something. Okay, so let's just take a look at player stats so far. So yeah, Trevor Wong's been insane, way over point per game. Medano's just under point per game, or over point per game because he was injured. 21 goals in 30 games. It seems like always when he's going to have a good year, he ends up getting injured. Lindell, 27 points. Martinson's got 10 points. So he's more of a bottom 6 guy. Draper had 5 points in 11 games as a depth guy, which is pretty good. Sidor, 40 points in 40 games. So I think it was good to bring him back. Klatt, 28 points in 40 games. Breland, 20 points in 39 games. And Drake, 9 points in 40 games. It's weird that he's not getting that much points because his offensive stats are good. Maybe he'll be better in the top 6. Because right now, how much ice time is he getting? Only 10 minutes. So I think next season we want to put him up maybe to like the second or third line, and then maybe he'll produce more. Right winger is Dead, 28 points, Viborny 25, Rice 15, and LaPointe 11. So not too bad. Defensively, Lindback's got 15 points in 40 games. Not a lot of power play points, surprisingly, but he's been pretty solid for his first season. Hatcher 14 points, Godiniak 11, Lachance 9. Thompson has 7, not bad before he got injured. Taze has 6, and Bowen has only 1 point. As for goaltending, Nabokov's been pretty good in terms of winning, but Simic does not seem to be simming that well, unfortunately. I was hoping he'd sim better, but hopefully he comes back from playing like this, because he had a really good AHL season last year. Mainly why I gave him a chance, and this is not that good so far. Hopefully he plays better. And then let's quickly take a look at the AHL. Even though we're only halfway through the season, Wells is doing good again. Street, the good guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. How about Ward? How's he doing? Because he's a defensive prospect. 4 points, plus 3. Not too bad. Okay, so let's take a quick look also at the standings, just because I want to quickly take a look at what's been good for us and what hasn't been. So we're scoring a lot of goals, 3.33 per game, but we're giving up quite a bit. 2.97, that's not good. In terms of power play percentage, our power play is actually one of the worst, which is kind of weird, and our penalty kill is one of the best in our divisions, so we need to find a way to get that power play unit clicking again. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Dallas Stars franchise mode. So in next episode, we will maybe pull off some trades. I don't know. We'll see how we simulate the next half of the season. And hopefully we make the playoffs, because I do not want to give up a lottery pick. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.